Anxiety free, anxiety free CV.
A trigger is an external event or circumstance that may cause a very uncomfortable emotional or psychiatric symptom, such as discouragement, panic, negative self-talk, and anxiety. A lot of things can trigger a person, such as loud sounds, certain smells, even music. My goal in recognizing my own triggers was so that I could become resilient. And in order to be resilient, you have to be vulnerable enough to admit and acknowledge that you have triggers. Now, you may be thinking, I don't deal with that. We all have things from our past or even present today that we don't want to remember. We wish that they would never show their ugly head again. Am I right? And I bet as soon as I said that, you thought of that thing, that moment, and for some of us, that person. A trigger will happen before you even recognize that you're triggered, and they always start with a physical sensation. I will know that I'm triggered because I start feeling a tense flinch, like I'm about to be punched in the face with an iron fist or something. Like I get really tense, my body gets really tensed up. And my best friend has described her reaction to triggers as feeling like there's an explosion of fire in her stomach. You will feel your trigger before you know you're triggered. So here's my testimony. I dropped out of college after my first year, and I hate to admit this, because of a failed relationship. I was devastated. It was so embarrassing. It was to the point where I felt like I could not see his face anymore. So now, anytime I feel like I'm put in a situation where I'm not properly trained or if I don't know enough, I get triggered. My entire body gets really tense and I want to run and hide in a bathroom for hours. All because of the shame I feel for not finishing college. And yes, shame is attached to your trigger. So there are 3 main reactions to your triggers, and I'm sure you're gonna recognize yourself in one of the 3. Number 1 is the move toward. This is the reaction that makes you wanna earn connection, that makes you wanna people please. And this reaction will make you feel like you have more to prove than everyone else. So in my example, this would be me feeling like I have to study harder because I don't know enough or I'm not properly trained. This is the reaction that makes you want to appease people to be whatever they want you to be. Number 2 is the move against. This is a reaction that makes you want to try to gain power over others. So instead of learning from you, I'm going to talk over you and tell you what I know, even if what I know is not right. This is the move against. Somebody that also has the quick comebacks. You're triggered, so you want to come back and try to say something hurtful. So if you're triggered because someone shamed you, like as in my example, if someone made me feel shame or triggered me about not finishing college, that would be me saying, well, at least I didn't get pregnant when I was 16 or something like that. You try to throw shade at someone else's possible shame. So that's the move against. You trying to gain power over someone else. You trying to combat shame that you feel. You trying to combat that by throwing shame back. Number 3 is the move away. This is the runner. You feel shame and like me, you want to go and you want to run and hide in the bathroom for hours and hours, and you don't want to see anyone. You want to run and you want to hide under a blanket. You want to disconnect. This is a person that as soon as they feel triggered, you immediately get up and leave the table instead of possibly staying to see what you can learn. And this is also a reaction that makes people disappear from the relationships in their lives. You went ghost because you you were triggered, someone touched a spot that you weren't healed in, and you never talked to that person again, or you cut that person off. You were triggered. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this brought some type of understanding of what triggers are, and hopefully you can be honest with yourself and admit which area you are and try to work on those areas. So that's going to be your homework. Anxiety Free TV. Your homework is to figure out which trigger reaction do you have. Are you the move towards? Do you try to appease and earn connection? Are you the move against? Do you try to combat shame by throwing shame? Or are you the move away? Do you run and hide and immediately disconnect? Comment below and tell me which one you are. I hope you guys have the most amazing day, and I will see you next time.
Free, anxiety free.